All right, let's get into it. We're going to talk about a really crucial moment for anyone who works with Citrix. It's that jump from just knowing the names of things to actually thinking like a real operator. It turns out it's way less about what you've memorized and a whole lot more about how you think about problems.
So you've done the work, right? You've put in the hours, you've sat through the training, maybe watched a ton of walkthroughs. You can absolutely name all the big pieces of the puzzle.
You've got the book knowledge down. If somebody quizzes you, you can tell them what Storefront does. You know exactly where to find Studio. You've basically memorized the map. But there's that feeling, isn't there? That little gap between what you know from the lab and feeling truly confident when things go wrong in a live environment. It kind of feels like a really important piece is still missing. And that right there, that's the leap we're talking about today. Getting from beginner to intermediate isn't about cramming more commands or settings into your head. It's about a complete shift in how you approach the whole thing.
So, to really get this, let's first look at where we all start out. It's a pretty comfortable place, but, it's got its limits. We can call this the beginner's comfort zone.
Yeah, in the beginner's world, everything is, well, it's nice and tidy. You learn a thing, you follow a step-by-step guide in some perfect, clean lab environment, and you get a nice, predictable result. You log in, you launch the app, and poof, it just works. It's clean, it's simple, and it's totally linear. But then comes your first real problem on a live production system. And that nice, clean, linear world, yeah, it pretty much shatters into a million pieces. And it always starts with a ticket, doesn't it? A ticket that just says something like this. Citrix is slow. No error code, no details, just slow. Seriously, what chapter in the manual covers that?
Then it gets even better. You get this one. The exact same thing works perfectly for Sally in accounting, but it's completely broken for Bob in marketing. Your checklist is useless here because the checklist is the same for both of them.
Oh, and you can't forget the all-time classic, a problem that isn't about one little app misbehaving, but the entire process of just getting to work. This points to something way deeper, something systemic. And that's the moment it hits you. All those component names you memorized, all those facts, they feel kind of useless right now. There's no magic fix-it button because you're not dealing with one tool. You're dealing with a complex, interconnected system. So this is a crossroads. You can get totally overwhelmed, or you can level up. Let's talk about the mindset shift that gets you to that next level. Okay, so here's the first huge difference. A beginner is hunting for a specific fix. They're asking, which checkbox do I click? What setting fixes this? But the intermediate operator, they zoom out. They're asking, okay, where could a problem like this even live in the first place? And see, that one question changes everything. You stop chasing a predefined answer from a book, and you start forming hypotheses, kind of like a detective. You start thinking, okay, my theory is the issue is with policy processing. Or maybe, I bet there's some latency when we talk to the profile server. You've become an investigator. The beginner instinct is to immediately point a finger at one thing. It's gotta be Storefront, or the delivery controller is down. The intermediate view is totally different. They see the whole thing as a chain of events. And a problem could be a weak link anywhere along that chain. And that is what we mean by thinking in flows. For that slow login ticket, you're not just checking one server. No, you're mentally tracing the user's entire journey, from authentication, through policies, loading their profile, across the network, all the way to how the backend app itself is behaving. The key is, you don't have the answer yet, but you now have a map of where to look for it. This new way of thinking, it actually leads to a completely different goal. Your whole focus shifts from trying to control everything to trying to see everything. Beginners, well, they're often obsessed with getting the perfect configuration. They think if they just get every setting just so, nothing will ever go wrong. The intermediate operator knows better. They know perfection is a myth. The real goal is visibility, the ability to see what's actually going on under the hood right now. And once you make that shift, everything changes. Suddenly, log files stop being a scary wall of text and start telling you a story. Events become clues. You stop panicking over single incidents, and you start looking for patterns and trends. You're not just putting out fires anymore, you're actually reading the environment. So, when you put all of this together, what does it all add up to? It means you're changing roles. You're changing your identity.
You're becoming a true operator.
And let's be clear, a real admin isn't the person with the most certifications or the one who can recite PowerShell commands in their sleep. Nope. The real pro is the person who, when faced with some vague, high-pressure mess, can stay calm and just think systematically through the chaos.
So how do you actually get there? Think of this as your roadmap. Prioritize observation over configuration. Ask why a setting exists before you ask how to change it. Think in those end-to-end flows, not just isolated features. And get this, study the failures. You'll learn way more from a real outage than from a perfect lab demo. And a little trick? Try explaining the problem out loud, even to yourself. It forces your brain to find clarity.
And that's really the destination. You trade the false confidence of I know Citrix for the real confidence of I know how to approach Citrix problems. That mindset right there is the mark of a pro, and it puts you miles ahead of anyone who's still just memorizing the manual.
Look, if any of this resonated with you, if you felt that panic from a vague ticket, then the good news is you're already on your way. You're making the shift from student to operator. It's a challenging path for sure, but it's where the real learning and, honestly, the real fun begins. So, welcome to the next level.
Hi everyone. First of all, thank you for watching this video. My name is Naresh. I am the content creator behind this YouTube channel. I have created a community for Citrix learners where I will be posting a lot of details on Citrix products and how to work in Citrix environments. I'm going to mention the link in the video description, so you can click on that link and you can become part of the community. All right, see you soon. Bye-bye.